the foreign trade balance is the difference between the value of export and that of import between the two countries. It may relate to a product or to the total of the exchanges of products, goods, and services. Well, of course, that's one of the things that we'll look out for on the show today. But let's quickly go straight now as we look at the market at the close of Tuesday and see what the market is saying. The NGS closed on a flat note amid sell-off and buying interest at the benchmark all-share index appreciated by 3 basis points at the close of Tuesday. The NGS all-share index closed at 47,246.9 point to reflect a growth of 0.03% from the previous trading day, and the year-to-date has returned to about 10.61%. Meanwhile, the market capitalization increased by 7 billion naira at the close of Tuesday. But if you look at the trading summary for February 22, you will see the movement that all-share index has moved up by 0.03% in about 5,992 deals. And then, of course, you have the volume moving up by 0.09%. The value also has moved up by 22.14% at the close of Tuesday. Market cap, like I said earlier, moved up by 0.03%. But if you look at the top 5 gainers for the day, you have the likes of Nigeria Insurance rather. You have Len Africa, you have Square and Coaches and May and Baker in that category. Take a look at the top 5 decliners. You will see that the Veristes Cap, Courtville, Guinness, Name and Ella Lakes are in the top 5 decliners there. The sector movement, NSE has remained continuously or consistently in the red for the past how many trading sessions now. NSE banking up by 0.36%. You have insurance, you have NSE industries, NSE oil, and NSE Asian board there. But let's quickly look at the market, other equity portfolio in terms of how many participation, or in terms of percentage of participation of foreign investors in the equity market for the year 2021. If you take a look at the equities market in terms of foreign investors participation in the equities market for January, February to December last year, there's been a bit of volatility. If you see, perhaps we'll be able to have that slide for you on your screen to show you the movement between January last year to December last year. As in February, that the change or the participation declined by about 32.1%, and when you look at December, it has declined for about 100%. Of course, when you talk about foreign a portfolio participation in the equities market, some analysts will tell you is very, very key to the growth of the capital market in Nigeria. But let's get the conversation started from the performance of the equities market yesterday, as we bring in our regular analyst on the show, Mr. Ambrose Omodion. He is Chief Research Officer, Investigator Consulting Limited. He joins us now. Mr. Ambrose, thank you for joining us. We appreciate your time. But let's start from yesterday. Len Africa led about 31 gainers and against 18 losers yesterday. So what will be your reaction for the past how many days now? We've seen consistent movement, upward movement of the market, positive performance of the markets as investors are smiling to the bank. Please, what do you make of this trend we are seeing in the market?
Actually, for the last 30 trading days, market has been in the green. But I would say the green is not so pronounced, just marginal green. For that the market is expecting a trigger, which I said earlier, in the last program. Yes, these triggers are coming in lieu of crude oil price change $97 point something as at yesterday. At the same time, anything in the market are positive, especially the last dividend announcement that was made by ICAP and Jabu. On that note, market is looking for more as company to release the one of the said accounts for the year ended 2021. If this number come and they put the direction of UCAP and Nigerian or MTN, that means that investor will at the end of the day. That is why the easy investor look at the company when they invested the money, how are they doing? Is the earnings becoming stronger or weak? If the company earnings becoming stronger, it's a pointer that yes, at the end of the day, they might likely to reward their shareholders handsomely, and which we have seen in Nigerian, UCAP and the 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 MTN. For me, I believe for investors, there's no for panicking because the trend is still there. The good thing that market is trading above is shortest moving average of 7 days. At the same time, we are already in the midst of many season. And don't forget that last week here we saw some economic data that came to the market, and they are positive. For me, the point that I get the market is going somewhere. But don't forget that in a volatile market as well now, don't be carried away with your gains. Always be guided with your profit target and your stop loss, so that it's not the right time to cash out your profit and go to the bank and sell and smile. So don't allow the market to take you up and bring you down. Just let your investment objective be at the back of your mind anytime you're in the market. Whether the market is gyrating up or down, don't let that to carry out of your plan. Let you reach your plan set of position target, sell off. Immediately also your position, go back and adjust your stop loss, exit the position and move forward. Like that to invest now. The market for me is still strong as far as it's trading above the 47,000 mark. And don't forget that if you look at the market trend as of yesterday, it's still positive. 28 against 19 losers. For me, the market, despite that the official index is marginally up by 0.03, the market is still in order.
Just before we get into portfolio, looking at as we analyze or do an assessment of foreign portfolio investment in the equities market, but let's talk a bit more about the performance of the market for this is the third trading day of the week, where you have already always said that we shouldn't be talking about the direction of the market now, but of course the volatility because of the earnings season and profit taking as well. But then some other people want to see, well, we also need to talk about market direction at the same time with the volatility. So how would you respond to that vis-a-vis the performance or the direction of the market for the week?
Actually, week to date, we are seeing the markets are having a positive sentiment. Apart from yesterday, that we saw more sellers in the market, because yesterday the selling position was about 78 position, while the buyers are around 78% at the close of the day. It tells you that people are taking more profit in the market, because so what happens, what happened in the UCAP and the ACAP potential yesterday, it tells you that really our investors are interested in taking profit. These two stocks open, they gap up as market open on that morning yesterday. They got as high as one for 10 naira, the other one 18 naira, 8 naira, the second one. But they pull back at the end of the day because people take advantage of that gap up to sell up to that position, and again, I think that people are taking profit. But the good thing is that all big names are yet to release their audited account and their corporate action. I believe when the time in the market to change the face of the market, that means this up and down we're seeing, this will continue. But investors do not panic at all, because the market have not really shown a change in trend. When you see the market change in trend, you cannot be panicking. But for now, the market keep trading above the shortest moving average. For me, it's very, very key and for the investors to hear.
Nigeria Share Index has gained more than 10% since the start of the year. On the back of new leasing, we've seen new leasing, and we've also seen the banking sector performing very well. Some of the sectors are doing excellently well. And then you also have some small cap stocks who are also pushing the index higher. So what are the fundamental factors driving investor sentiment in this direction? Because we've seen buying interest in the small caps stocks in the last few trading sessions.
Actually, when we are seeing any season, and any season in our own market is that this season is peculiar. Why is peculiar? We have many companies on the exchange that have December at year end. Because that's at year end, at the end of December, that is the end of the financial year, ended 2021. And according to the exchange rules, you have 30 days to release your unaudited account for which they did in March, in January, sorry. Then those are also that want to release their unaudited account. All the things they did in January, have this month of February, end of February, or first day of March to That is what drives the market up and down.
Now, let's turn our attention to foreign portfolio participation in equities trading in 2021, as report shows that investors' interest has dropped in 2021. And this perhaps, they said, is seen in the drop in capital importation in 2021. When you saw the capital importation, it dropped substantially. So some have attributed this as well to the upward trend in inflation, which averaged around 15 or 16% last year. So, how cautious should investor be or take position with their funds at this time?
So I didn't hear you. What is the percentage of the foreign investors in the Nigerian market? I wanted to do that report. Let me know the percentage of foreign investors in the market and at the same time in the Nigerian investor. The figure I have got now is that in the Nigerian market we have less than 25% of foreign portfolio in Nigeria.
Right.
About 75% is by local investors, especially our PFPs, institutional investors in Nigeria. That means that the people are torn. Before in Nigeria, we depend not purely on foreign investors to drive our market. Now we are not driving our market ourselves. Now that also they are also high rates in the advanced market, where they have to call their funds from emerging market so that they can take advantage of their own free what we call instrument that the risk is very low. But because they are not playing much in the market, I don't think they are exiting the market now and putting the market seriously. Yes, you might see the impact, but not as much, because compared to when they are having 50%, 60% of the market, when they are doing the market completely. But now that the local investors have about 5% of the market, the exit of the foreign investors because of high, engage in their market, their economy or consolidated market, won't affect the market much. But it's good that we have foreign participation in our market. But I'm also telling you that in another way, if the oil price continues to rise, and we see the also impact our bottom line as a nation, and this FX issue is resolved, also they might see opportunity in the market, people to bring their money, because if the rate is high, it's going to also affect their market there too. Because when the rate is high, that will also be giving the market in US to other investment with they want to likely compete to waiting. But our market not over-dependent on foreign investor now. For me, it's a very good thing for the market, because anywhere in the world, you don't allow foreign portfolio that come in and go because of any make of example.
Now, yes.
If you are having direct investment for what people want, that will be the employment for Nigerians and all the stuff. But this personal investment, they are just to make money around. That means any news, anything that happens in Nigeria, once they are selling down, the market will pay them. For me, no, we need them, but not as much. Yeah.
Because why I brought that question, because we saw the figure, because the data release shows that from about 47.5 billion naira in January 2021, we saw that it has declined by about 55.1% by July of last year, dropping to 15.5 billion naira in terms of a portfolio that were witnessed in the market last year. That's why I asked that question. But let's proceed further. Can you hear me? Now, let's proceed further now. With the threat of capital depletion, so investors are forced to consider climbs with more excellent price stability, especially with the management of forex in Nigeria by the CBN, mainly the choice of maintaining multiple exchange rates, which has been identified as a significant factor responsible for falling capital importation. So how soon can we begin to see a reversal of this?
Yes, CBN already takes a step. Once we want to unify our exchange rates in Nigeria, let's